Greetings, my friends. Tonight I invite you on a journey through time as we uncover the extraordinary life of Marco Polo. Let the story begin. Marco Polo had been one of history's greatest travelers, a man who dared to seek that answer. His story was not merely about roads and oceans, but about the endurance of the human spirit. It was a tale of loss and wonder, of survival and discovery, of how one man's journey had changed the destiny of nations. Marco Polo was born in Venice in 1254, a city alive with trade, ambition, and the constant movement of ships. His mother had died while he was still a boy, leaving him with a deep sense of solitude. His father, Niccolò, and Uncle Maffeo were merchants, often traveling across seas and distant lands in search of fortune. Little Marco often wandered alone through the narrow Venetian streets. He paused by the canals watching gondolas drift away and wondered, what lay beyond those waters? Beyond the sea? Beyond the horizon? At the age of 17, Marco set out eastward with his father and uncle. Their destination was the lands beyond Persia, beyond the deserts, beyond the endless steppe, to the court of the great Kublai Khan. The journey was merciless. In the vast deserts, sandstorms howled like angry spirits. Many in their caravan perished from hunger, disease, and thirst. Graves were swallowed by the dunes, leaving no trace behind. Yet Marco endured. Each hardship carved strength into his soul. Each night beneath foreign stars, he felt the world growing larger than he had ever imagined. After a long and grueling desert journey with his father and uncle, Marco Polo now pressed onward, toward the rugged mountains of the Silk Road. After years of travel, Marco and his family finally reached China. Before him rose the grandeur of the Yuan dynasty's capital and the mighty court of Kublai Khan. In the vast and glittering halls of Kublai Khan's palace, Marco Polo and his father stepped forward with reverence. The air was heavy with incense, the golden banners of the Mongol Empire swayed gently above, and the mighty Khan sat upon his throne, radiating power. With solemn grace, Marco and his father bowed deeply before him. At that moment, Kublai Khan's piercing eyes fell upon the young Venetian. He was not impressed merely by Marco's presence, but by the sharp light of intelligence burning within his eyes. Struck with admiration, the great Khan resolved to keep Marco by his side. He would not allow such a mind to be wasted. Within these walls, Marco would serve in the court, observing, learning, and carrying out duties of great importance under the watchful gaze of the empire's ruler. Yet within Marco's heart a storm was raging. Though honored by the Khan, he could not bear the thought of being torn away from his father. Every step he took echoed with resistance, his spirit clinging to the bond that had carried them across endless deserts. But destiny is merciless. Kublai Khan's command was absolute, and Marco's fate was sealed. He would remain in the service of the empire. And so, with sorrow carved upon his face, Marco walked with his father toward the harbor. The sea wind carried the cries of distant gulls. The sound of waves crashing against the shore echoed like a lament. At the edge of the pier, father and son stood in silence, their eyes speaking the words their voices could not. At last, with a heavy heart, Marco Polo stepped away, leaving behind his father to embrace a new life under Kublai Khan's watchful reign. As the trusted envoy of Kublai Khan, Marco Polo served for many years, witnessing wonders that Europe had never known. He marveled at paper money flowing through bustling markets, at compasses guiding fearless sailors across uncharted seas, and at the thunder of gunpowder shaking the very earth beneath the clash of armies. Yet beneath this dazzling magnificence a shadow lingered. For while golden palaces gleamed in the sunlight, the common people lived in hunger and fear. Power was mesmerizing, its brilliance unmatched, but its shadow was filled with darkness. It is said, though no one knows if it is truth or legend, that one fateful night within the silent halls of Kublai Khan's palace, Marco Polo became the target of a deadly plot. From the shadows crept the Hashashin, assassins cloaked in darkness, their blades glinting faintly in the torchlight. The air grew heavy, every flicker of flame whispering of death. They struck with precision, swift and merciless, yet fate did not grant them victory. Their attempt failed, and Marco Polo emerged alive, his destiny unchanged, but forever marked by the shadow of that night. Years passed. Marco served as the Khan's emissary, riding across Tibet's frozen mountains, India's sacred temples, and the tropical harbors of Southeast Asia. He witnessed cultures and lands no European had ever seen. After 24 long years, Marco Polo finally returned to Venice. But homecoming brought no peace. Venice was at war with Genoa, and Marco was captured. He was thrown into a cold, dark prison, yet even in chains his mind was free. There he met Rustichello of Pisa, a writer who recorded Marco's stories. From the darkness of his cell, Marco's voice gave birth to entire worlds. Deserts breathed, oceans roared, and golden palaces shone, all from the pages of a prisoner's tale. Imprisoned in the stone walls of Genoa, Marco Polo carried with him not chains alone but memories. Memories of deserts and oceans, of emperors and battles, of wonders unseen by European eyes. Beside him sat Rustichello da Pisa, a man of words. Night after night, by the dim light of a flickering flame, Marco spoke and Rustichello wrote. From these whispered tales was born a book, The Travels of Marco Polo. A work that would cross centuries, carrying the secrets of the East into the heart of Europe, and igniting the dreams of explorers, yet unborn. When Marco Polo died, many still doubted his tales. They whispered, no man could have seen such wonders. But centuries later, his book inspired new generations. Christopher Columbus carried Marco Polo's words across the Atlantic. The age of exploration was ignited by the dreams of a Venetian boy who had dared to ask what lay beyond the horizon. Marco Polo had become more than a traveler. He was a bridge between East and West, between the known and the unknown, between reality and possibility. Marco Polo. All his life he had sought the world beyond the horizon, and in doing so he revealed the depths of human curiosity. His journey was not only the tale of one man, but a reminder for all mankind. The greatest maps were not drawn on parchment, but within the human heart. And those who dared to look beyond the horizon were the ones who changed the world. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and join me again in the next episode.